I don't know about you all, but I had been suffering from Diddy fatigue. Thankfully, it's over and I'm invested again. Whoo, this story, buckle up. Perez Hilton here and Phil Pines worked for Diddy as his personal assistant from 2019 to 2021. And some of the job responsibilities were... Phil Pines has been interviewed and he is speaking out in this new investigation discovery docuseries about Diddy. The Fall of Diddy. And last month, Phil Pines is one of many people who sued Cassie's ex-boyfriend. Phil is alleging sexual battery, sexual harassment, trafficking, and claims that some of his job duties were to enable Diddy's intimate activities. He was an enabler. He was part of the problem. While sitting down to chat, Pines says that loyalty was everything to Diddy, adding that the moment the disgraced musician allegedly told him to prove himself was something I won't forget. How did Diddy ask him to prove himself? According to Pines, Diddy had been drinking all day before an alleged freak-off. The former assistant now claims that he was pressured by Diddy to partake in the freak-off by his boss and given a beverage to drink. We've heard this before, but never from one of his employees. Phil Pines, through tears, says, "My life changed and I've never really recovered from it." He explains, "I took a shot with them. That was his way of making sure you felt comfortable. I go back to the office, sit there, get summoned again, take a shot. He's out of his mind. He's in rare form, as we would call it. I remember hearing the words, 'Prove your loyalty to me, your king.' He grabbed me by the shoulders, gave me a massage like a coach would give a player that's about to enter the game, handed me a condom. They're being safe, that's good. Pushed me to a girl that was on the couch, a guest." Pines then says, "I froze before it took place. I didn't know what was happening. In the moment, it felt like, what? Is this fun for him? Is this a test for entertainment? Does he know he's doing this? Is he that gone? I don't know what to do." "She gave me consent, yeah, nodded her head," Pines said of the woman that Diddy allegedly wanted him to get intimate with. His former assistant goes on to claim, "I performed for a little bit and then I ran out of there as soon as I didn't see him in my sight anymore." This is damning. Explaining why he went ahead with it, Phil Pines claims that he had previously seen Diddy physically assault employees who stood up to him. Quote, "I saw how angry he could get from the simplest thing. I thought to myself, if I don't do this, I don't know what's going to happen. I come from a Christian background and I lean on those morals heavily," he said, crying. So, that's what happened to him. But what did Phil Pines do that potentially harmed countless people? In his role as a personal assistant to Diddy, he engaged in the following, according to him, on the record in this new docuseries. Phil Pines says, "We usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, the plant, the letter K, Etta, the mean, the Molly Ringwald. You have the fun guy on top of there. Baby oil and Astroglide are very important. Candles, incense, Apple TVs, electronics, computers, iPads. He continues, obviously there was, male libido supplements, stuff like that, because Diddy had problems performing. Or maybe because the substances made it difficult for him to be upright, if you know what I mean. Pines says that Diddy loved to prey on young people. He explains, quote, a lot of the times there were girls that were under the radar, didn't have a lot of influence. I think that speaks to the type of situations people were put in. A lot of times you have Diddy with a young female and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in as opposed to somebody who might be a celebrity who's not going to do too much of that or give some pushback. I know people, and I'm good. I've repeatedly said I didn't think there were celebrities involved in these freak-offs, and his assistant just pretty much confirmed that. He wanted the freak-offs to be about him. He was the king, pleasuring him. He's the center of all attention, not some other famous person to compete with attention or even be involved with it. I think, and that's what I'm interpreting what this guy just said as. Pines then was asked if perhaps, like his lawyers have argued, it was all consensual and they were just partying like a rap star. His former personal assistant says, look, there's partying and then there's a party. However, his former assistant then goes on to add that he doesn't really know because he wasn't in the room with him almost all of the time, and he was rarely there, and he doesn't know if the partners gave Diddy consent. He adds, I remember a time when Diddy told me to come up and grab one of his guests' bags, take it out to the car, and drive her to her hotel. I don't know what took place. All I can say is that when I had brought her down to the car, she was shaky, physically shaken, didn't look like how she had looked the night before. She said something to the effect of, I've never done anything like this before. His former employees also recalls being asked to perform on many occasions an emergency cleanup after his Wild King Nights parties. That means, quote, Diddy destroyed the hotel room. The longer he's there, the more intense the cleanup is going to be. He also recounts witnessing Diddy get violent with a young woman. Quote, I remember a time I saw Diddy assault one of his guests at his home in Florida. Things were getting a little heated. They were very argumentative. He claims Diddy then kicked the young woman twice, something we saw in that hotel security camera footage with Cassie. In a statement, Diddy's lawyer has denied all of these allegations from his former personal assistant, and he says, quote, no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never done anything to any man or woman, adult or minor. This is a lot to take in. And that dude, the former assistant, gives me the ick. He should have quit that job, I think. What do you think of this all? It's a lot to take in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.